Welcome to Dose of Society Unfiltered, where we dive into the heart of our world, unraveling the stories of everyday people just like you and me. Dose of Society is not just another social media page. It's a community that celebrates real-life stories through our shared humanity. These narratives remind us of the connections we share as we all try to navigate through this thing called life. I'm your host, Natia, and I'm so excited to bring you these real-life stories of the strangers I meet and discover the topics we all can't get enough of. Now, I'm going to approach a few strangers and show you what it takes to get these interviews. Okay, these guys were all Italian and they don't speak English very well. Hi. Oh, you French?
Yes.
Enchanté, ça va? Have you ever lost a love you thought would last?
No, never.
Voila.
Sorry.
No.
It's interesting for you. No.
Have you ever lost a love you thought would last?
No.
Good.
Maybe get someone else.
Hi. Hello. You're so pretty. Would you like to get interviewed? Do it for the gram, girl. Do it for the gram. But now we're going to approach a few people who are sitting down and we're going to see if they're going to want to talk to us. The beautiful skyline of New York City, everyone. Hi. Could I interview you by any chance? Ooh, baby. Are you staying warm?
Yeah.
I love your coat. What has been the biggest battle so far?
I guess one would be losing the dream of my life, which I've been into 2 car accidents at the moment, and so I had to give up on my dream, which was supposed to be a professional dancer. And then after that, trying to find out like what is my life purpose, I guess. That is the biggest battle for me right now.
When were the accidents?
When I was 3 years old, I had my first car accident in America. I broke my spine, and after that was okay, but I had my second car accident when I was 15, and that caused me a lot of physical pain, but I still tried to embrace it and make the most of it, but my body wouldn't last long, so I had to give up. Yeah.
What are your emotions that come up and how do you cope with them?
I think anger would be the biggest one, where you can't really blame anyone but myself or the situation that has happened. So anger would be the biggest thing. But gratefulness that does come out from it is that I don't try to identify myself as a dancer no more, but trying to find out other ways of how I can express my feelings, because it is a story of just who I am as of who I am right now.
And oftentimes, people who cause accidents, obviously, like nobody means it, but if you could talk to them and show them that it's not just endangering yourself, but with that, there could be the death of someone else's dream and redirection of their entire life. What would you tell people like that?
I don't think anyone would purposefully get someone into an injury, but I guess just be careful. And if you fall victim to an accident or something, I would say don't blame yourself, because that's not on you, but try to make the most out of it, because it's still a part of you. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see what your journey unfolds.
Thank you.
And new talents and passions that you'll find along the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a
Great.
beautiful rest of the day.
You too.
Bye. We had a fellow dancer whose dream was broken because of 2 different car accidents, which I know what it feels like to have your dream broken, especially as a fellow dancer myself. But that's just the thing, right? We never know what our actions, how they're going to alter someone else's life. So I think that's the important part of this interview. Okay, let's find another person. Oh, I see them walking. Maybe they'll say yes. Let's see. Have you ever lost a love you thought would last?
Yes, my very first boyfriend. At 16, we dated until I was 21. And this is an interesting story because I'm from Australia and his parents were Lebanese immigrants, and I could never meet his mother. I never met his mother over the whole time that we were together. And so eventually, and I thought we were going to get married, and it came to a point where I said, got to meet your mum because it's going to happen. And he actually chose his mum over me, so I never met her, and that was that. 16 to 21, 5 years.
Did you feel rejected?
Oh, by his mother, yeah, and their culture. But I appreciate that. That's okay, and it just wasn't meant to be. But it was I definitely signed up for the whole thing.
How did you deal with the rejection?
Actually, I turned my life around because I've been very much involved in him and everything about him. So, and he went overseas, and so I found a new friend group and started going out to different places than I went before. Got a new job, travelled, opened up the world, and yeah, best thing ever.
Was there a part of you that wanted to show him the kind of like life you're gonna have without him? Maybe in a way of just making up for that pain that you felt?
Yeah, he came back and he called me. And in fact, when I was engaged to my now husband, the father of those beautiful boys over there, he tracked me down and wanted to rebuild what we had, but no, I made the right choice with their father, for sure.
Did you ever talk to him about it?
He knew, so there wasn't really much to say. And it was better to just keep away from him anyway because, there was nothing there.
What would be your advice for people who very much follow their families and traditions, their dreams, instead of following their heart and being true to themselves?
That's a good question. I think it's really difficult, but the world's different now. It was a long time ago, and I suppose with his culture now, they've integrated more in our country. These were new immigrants, and they didn't understand. They were frightened. And now that I'm a mother, I'm fairly protective of my boys as well. So if I was in a new country, I probably wouldn't be that extreme, but I have a better understanding of it.
You killed it.
To speak the truth. Do you want to?
She was made for this, and you guys should recognize the star and give your respects when it's due.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you want to do an interview?
No,
Oh, good for you. Do they get in a lot of trouble with the ladies?
Well, let's talk about last night. About last night.
Okay, I'm segueing.
He's got 5 new
No.
Instagram followers.
Oh my God!
He doesn't even know who they are.
Heartbreakers.
Yeah.
She was lovely. The park is quite empty, and let's go to our next location. Could I interview you by any chance? Okay, this is a great backdrop. You can stand right here. What has been your biggest battle so far?
Fighting for my dream to become a cabin crew and to move to Middle East from Europe. And I've achieved that. And now I'm here. I've been traveling since the age of 12, 13, and it always seemed like something interesting, something I wanted to pursue, do in my life. So I did it at the age of 26, and I've been doing it since.
What is the hardest part about your job?
I think it's jet lag, a lot of change, being far from family.
So how do you navigate that world when you're always on the road and everything keeps changing?
I have a great group of friends who work with me. We've been together since day one, so that's what's keeping me going.
Do you think you'll ever settle down or stop and make a home someplace?
That's the goal. In a few years, I want to move to the south of Europe and just settle down there.
Perfect.
So-
Thank you so much.
Great day for my first time in New York.
Welcome. Okay, now we're gonna try another stranger and see if we can find an interesting story for you guys. Could I interview you by any chance?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. First love at 31.
Yeah. My first love at 29.
So you waited a while for the one.
Yeah, I think I waited a while. I was picky and it worked out well and I got the one I wanted.
What makes this love special?
Sometimes it's doing all the exciting stuff together, but sometimes it's doing the mundane everyday stuff and enjoying finding love and like that spark in every day.
What has been your biggest battle so far?
So I think in life, probably my biggest battle so far was obviously everyone wants to find the one and find love, but it's really important to start loving yourself first. And I suppose that probably was what I worked on right throughout my 20s, because growing up as like a young gay boy in Ireland wasn't like the easiest thing. And I suppose you had you carried a lot of negative baggage. So trying to work through that and find out who you really are, and enjoying life and loving yourself for who you are, so then you can enjoy that with someone else.
You mentioned the battle being in Ireland, young kid. What was so difficult about that?
I think growing up there was no role models in terms of people that you could look up to in society that were successfully as a gay person, that had the same family dynamics. That's like when you grew up in heterosexual families, it was very hard to envisage your life going forward. Was a difficult thing to understand.
How did you get through all of that on your own and found your way?
I think I was very, very lucky to have like such a supportive family. So my parents who loved me so much and accepted me who I was. But sometimes in life, you can want everyone to accept you, but you actually have to accept yourself. And I think that's the biggest piece of work, because everybody can tell you accept them, but can you really accept who you are? Can you really love yourself? I think it's a really important message.
How did you accept yourself?
I think I accepted myself by not taking myself so seriously and I suppose sparking that little bit of joy and laughing at yourself and that it's okay to make mistakes.
Boom. You did it. Knocked it out of the park. What about you? You want to do one? No. It's always like that. The second person never wants to agree.